Hello, welcome to Anime Soirée. I'm Kyle, and we have Griffin and Will today. We're going to be talking about Promised Neverland Season 2, or at least the 4 episodes that are out at the time of this recording. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, leaving the first season, I was a little bit skeptical, unsure of where they were going to go now that they were out of the orphanage. But I think that these episodes they did a little bit to, kind of ease my concerns. What did you guys think?
I think it's
Yeah,
a solid setup. I think that the demons versus humans dynamic makes sense. A little cliche, maybe. I feel like I'm getting some pretty strong Made in Abyss vibes, I guess, of like, just little kids in a very strange and foreign world. But, and then there's also like kind of like demons in that one, sort of like demon adventurers, but I won't go too much into it. Um,
yeah,
some of the CGI was kind of bad too, but like I think the direction they're
Yes.
going has potential. So, just your
yeah.
thoughts?
I think that's probably the biggest thing is like potential. Like obviously we're still really early in the new season, so they haven't set up too much, but them discovering the shelter is probably the biggest point, and I guess the dynamic that had with the two other demons that helped them, and then like they turn around and one of the demons like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for them to like grow up and have kids and then I can hunt them free range. So like even the good demons in this world are like just kind of he was kind of just looking and like watching and waiting, and like that's a very interesting dynamic. And yeah, so like the potential of them being in the shelter, and then in the last episode they have like the attack on the shelter. So I'm very curious to see where they go after that, because the people that attack the shelter mentioned that, oh yeah, the two exit thing is like standard for all shelters, and it's like, okay, so that one line says that these shelters are common, they have been built up, and that they're common enough to where they know how they're laid out, and that they've had to deal with them plenty of times before. And the fact that these are human soldiers attacking these shelters is incredibly interesting. And like, what does all this mean? And I'm sure they'll answer it throughout the season. It was just a lot of questions brought up most recent episode for sure.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely going I mean, yeah, I would say that, like, one of the bigger, like, driving forces for me to continue watching is just, like, getting these questions answered, and, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard great things about where the manga ends up, so I'm not really expecting much in terms of, like, how like, whether these questions will be answered in a satisfying or interesting way, but I do think that, like, the moment to moment is, like, it's pretty enjoyable, it's kind of like a similar appeal like Griffin said, I've like is Made in the Abyss or Made in Abyss, where it's just like, you have these like kids that are in this like extremely hostile environment. I definitely don't like it as much as Made in Abyss, but it's still like, it has some of the elements of that of the appeal of that. And like, some more mystery plot elements too. And yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And I've been
Mhm.
enjoying the ride more or less since the beginning of the season. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, what did I like about it? I uh let's see. I think it's like it's like
Damn, Griffin hated
I
this.
mean, I don't hate it. It's just like, it's nothing like crazy. I really like season one. And leading into this, I'm like kind of disappointed. It's like taking a route that I have seen before. And like I've seen shows do really well. And like I don't know if it can match that expectation. Like it literally like Made in Abyss is doing this right now. And I'm pretty sure they're doing it a lot better just based off like the CGI of that giant demon monster was so bad. It was awful and it really hurt. What would have been like a really cool scene in Made in Abyss would have been like, oh, dude, check out this awesome monster that looks really cool. And like the kids would like know about its awesome properties and like what more about the world that have like crazy plants that are trying to kill them. And like there's a little bit of that vibe. They're like, oh, we have an adventure book that is actually a guide. And it's like, okay, it's kind of a cool idea, but it seems a little convenient. They're like, oh, we found a book in the house, and oh, they have a pen, and oh, it's all Morse code. And it's like, I don't know, I don't really like those convenient, oh, we just
I
found
agree.
this. I like the Made in Abyss route, and I'm gonna keep making Made in Abyss comparisons where they're like, we fucking studied this shit for years, bro. My mom was a super hardcore adventurer, and I want to be just like her. So my entire life, all I did was study this shit, and I know everything. And I have this child with a Mega Man Death Laser helping me, and these are just a bunch of kids that I don't know. I feel like everything's kind of being handed to them, which should be a dire situation. Like I'm looking at the shit in this world, and I was just like, I would die in 5 seconds. And these like 7 to 12-year-olds are like they've survived multiple days, and I don't even think I'd last an hour. So I
I
don't know.
mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree, but I am hopeful. I actually kind of think that like like I'm really hopeful that the shelters are like part of a trap. That
I think they
basically
are,
like
yeah.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to find out later that like I don't remember what his name is, but like
William
this guy
Minerva.
whose name, yeah, yeah, who they keep repeating his name, but somehow I can't remember it. William Minerva is like actually like part of the system, and he's like, that they really can't escape because like when the person that they thought they were getting help from was actually just part of it, and that they're like just trapped again. Like that would be a cool angle, and I'm like hoping that they will take that angle, and that would make me feel better about all of the like conveniences that the plot is taking to get them there unscathed. Because yeah, like I agree, there are definitely a lot of things where it's just like, wow, really? Like the demon just happened to show up and eat the guy right as he was about to shoot them? Like really? I mean, and I guess William Minerva wouldn't help that plot point, but like, all of them being like, wow, we like figured out, we cracked the code and we're like going to the coordinates and stuff. Like it definitely just kind of like the the fact that it is set up like a scavenger hunt kind of it's not as tense as it could be, but I'm still hopeful that it will be just all a trap anyway, and that would make it, like, a lot better in my eyes.
Um,
I'd agree with you
yeah,
there.
I think 2 points. One on the CGI monster scene. It could have been worse. It could have been daytime and not dark as shit.
Yeah, that's true.
And then on the point of them being like just figure it out. I don't know. I just watched season one, and I never really had a problem throughout season one because they're set up to be like this. These kids getting perfect scores at the best orphanage in the area, and maybe like the entire demon world. And like their mother is like the best at training these kids, and she's shown to be pretty smart as well. So like I never really had a problem with them figuring out this stuff. Maybe like them knowing more, like I can't remember if they actually like set up them learning Morse code or something like that, but that was never like a big plot point. And them going through like the like irked me, and them like going through the scavenger hunt never really irked me. It kind of just to me just served as like them advancing the story, and it's like okay, well, either either it's the author suffering from the classic thing we talked about previously with one of the other shows where he can only write as smart as he is or she is, or it's like you have to dumb it down so like these kids can understand it, and I don't think it'd be as engaging if it was dumber than like whatever the scavenger hunt that the author has set up.
Yeah, I
So
mean, like, I don't have a problem with the kids being smart enough to figure it out, like, I'm there for that, but I think the fact that there is, like, a path that's kind of been already set up for them in the past, and they just have to, like, put together the clues to figure it out, it just feels like a little it almost I don't know, it just feels, like, convenient, like, it's like,
I'm
"Wow, that was
Yeah.
definitely
really
on the
lucky."
train that I hope that these are like a second filter to filter out the really smart kids. Like, okay,
100%
if
agree, and I think that would basically retroactively make anything that I'm currently complaining about not applicable anymore.
yeah,
So
S-
I hope that that's the case.
Wait,
like
say
it'd
that
be so
again.
cool if it was like, okay,
Like,
so
if it
you're
was a trap, if it was
yeah,
part of the system, like, that this is just
Okay.
that
like if
yeah.
you're a smart enough kid to escape the orphanages, like you're prime meat, or like if you're a smart kid at the orphanages, you're prime meat to the demons. If you're smart enough to leave the orphanages, like oh my god, if you're smart enough to leave the orphanages, survive long enough, and then also get to one of these shelters, like following Million Minerva's like thing, then like you're probably like the grade A of grade A, like S tier meat for these demons.
Okay.
So,
I
uh,
could get down with
it,
that.
yeah, I think I would definitely be on board if this William Minerva character was like some grander thing. And I think they do have like the one scene which I was really upset they didn't address at all in episode 4. With episode 3,
Right. The Help?
There's a scene where they find a room that is covered in, like,
Yeah,
graffiti that says, like, "Help me," and those, like, broken bed and, like, blood and stuff, and they just didn't bring it up. I'm hoping they bring it up in the next few episodes, but, like, that's, like, the biggest hint to me, like, something's wrong with these shelters. And also the fact
yeah,
that they say, like, they're very familiar with these shelters. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I also kind of don't think like, I'm thinking about it now, and I don't know if, like, I still want him to, like, not be just, like, a helpful figure because that would kind of be too easy for the kids, but I don't think that he is part of the system either because it seems like the demons are, like, getting Mama, like, out of her cell and, like, they're like, "Alright, we need you to, like, start hunting the kids again." So that to me kind of indicates that, like, that William Minerva is not part of the system, or else they wouldn't need to like bring Mama back into the picture. So I
Yeah.
think that like what would be cool and kind of like expand the scope of the story like even more is if he was like a third party that was that was also like looking out for his own interests and like wasn't necessarily just trying to help the kids or he's also trying to trap them or whatever but like for a different purpose. That would be cool and I would be down for that, but then that also kind of like yeah, I mean, yeah, that I'd be cool
Yeah.
with that too, because
I
that would
was
kind of
thinking
address the,
about
like,
the
convenience issue.
I was thinking about the mama stuff and, like, the fact that it seems like they're very like, these people at the headquarters are, like, very very concerned with losing the kids, and they obviously don't know about these shelters or anything, or maybe if they do, they're not telling us. The vibe that I got from that was like these people that are hunting the kids down and like are with the mom are like just like smaller fish in this big pond, and like they don't even know about the shelters, and like so maybe sometime we'll see uh like some bigger government organization in the demon world just like take like it reminded me of like in TV shows when like the local police are doing something and like they're like what the hell's going on here, and then the FBI comes over and like we'll take
Right,
it
to
from
cover
here.
it up, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm expecting like a bigger demon like group to be like, all right, we'll take it from here, like don't worry, all part of the plan, just don't worry about this.
That would be
Which would be I
cool.
think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really need this show to take a sharp turn, like really fast, like away from this what's
Sound
going
like you hate
on.
it, Griff.
I mean, it's just like I don't hate it. I'm just like afraid that it's gonna suck. And
I feel pretty similarly. Like I've been enjoying like I've been enjoying the episodes, but at the same time, like I am like nervous about the future and I haven't heard great things also, so that is not really helping either. But
Yeah.
also like a boss said that it doesn't get bad for a while.
Yeah.
So, I'm like I think that this season will be good. I mean, hopefully yeah, like I'm enjoying it, but I'm also a little worried about the future. Yeah, like that's basically where I'm at. I
it's
think
just
me
like,
and Griffin
dude,
are
like
similar spot.
if you put me or any character that was a child into a world full of demons and like monsters everywhere, like my expectation for how dangerous that world is supposed to be is high. I'll say that. It doesn't it's like kind of like they're doing like a survival vibe, and I'm getting like almost like too much. It's almost like Hunger Games almost kind of. I don't know. It seems
It definitely
so.
does feel very like teen dystopia type like vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, what's that other movie that's like a rip off of Hunger
Maze
Games?
Runner?
Yeah, Maze Runner vibes too.
I
Yeah,
never
teen
saw that.
dystopia vibes. Woo.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I
just
definitely
it's like a Hunger Games
teen.
type deal. Okay.
Yeah.
But and I'm not crazy about that kind of stuff, but there is redeeming qualities like the kids' eye animation. There's a lot of variety there. They all have very different eye sizes and
They
shapes,
do have different eyes.
and
Some of the kids look like aliens, like, they have, like,
yeah,
crazy big eyes,
There's that
and it's like,
one kid
"Whoa,
that
dude."
looks like fuck, what was the white-haired kid's
He
name?
looks like Norman, but,
He
like,
looks like
he's, like
Norman, but like alien Norman. His eyes are super close together.
and they're really
yeah,
small. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
I
God.
I kinda like that. I kinda like that, just based on his design being like, "I am literally Norman too. Like, I am young Norman."
There's the one kid that has like Goku hair almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um I don't know.
So I like those kids who were like, "We'll try the fish."
Yeah. Like, I didn't understand the scene with the fish, like, but that's like that can't be that bad. Like, I guess if you died from it maybe or got really sick, but like
Yeah, I mean, it could have been poison, like, they literally didn't even know that it was edible, but I respect the kids were like, "Yeah, we'll fucking try it."
I would have volunteered 100%. That sounds like a time of a lifetime. You're
I
already
and then I
like
love how they eat 1 bite, and then they wait half an hour, and they're like, "Holy shit, that was delicious."
yeah.
I like that they had like the demon, and he's like, "Oh, I have a special religion where I can't eat humans." That's like a good look for their lore and like future demon conflicts. I kind of want to know more about the demon conflicts like already.
Well,
I'm
it
more,
wasn't even like he wouldn't eat humans. He was like almost like a demon hippie where he's like, I only eat free range humans, that type of thing.
yeah, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to eat
I did
humans.
like that reveal at the end, like, I was like, "Wow, like, really? Like, a demon that just, like, happens to not eat humans?" Like, that they just ran into him, but I at least like the fact that, like, okay, like, he is planning to eat them eventually or eat their children or whatever,
Yeah, he
but
was
it was
kind of
still
like grooming them
pretty
almost.
convenient that they ran into these, like, 2, like, helpful demons right as they were getting attacked by the scary demons,
And
you
then
know?
like they just walk in, and then that kid just happens to push the one piano key to open up the door, and then they run
There
into
are
the.
a lot of these moments that are just
I
like
know.
they just like, "Oh, wow, this just happened to happen," and then it just pushes the plot forward.
And it's just like it doesn't feel like they're earning anything,
Yeah,
and
I do agree, but I think that, like, like I said, a lot of this will be not as much of a problem if it's just like, okay, like, it was a trap all along, like, this was all anticipated, and they don't even know what the fuck they're in for yet. Like, that would be cool, but,
yeah.
we'll see.
Let's see. What do you guys think
And
is
I
gonna
do feel like
happen?
that's a possibility, like, I don't think that, like, we're like, "This is a pipe dream," like, I think that, like, the show, like this is definitely well within the expectations that the show has set so far.
I feel like
So,
I do
yeah.
want it to go that way, but also I just realized a big problem with that would be if it is like some grand scheme and like they're getting outwitted. Eventually, if when they realize that and they're in that situation for the show to continue, they will have to outwit those people. And maybe there's like they could do like a time skip and these are like they're like more smart eventually. But like having the 12-year-old kids battle it out with some grander scheme would be even more unbelievable, I feel like.
Well, I mean, there's a lot
Yeah, but I'd
of.
rather take I don't know, I mean, I'd rather have them, like, be really smart and be able to beat them rather than, like, have everything handed to as it
Yeah.
kind of seems like now, you know? Like, I'd rather have the complaint that these 12-year-olds are too smart for 12-year-olds than, like, have the complaint of, "Yeah, I'm literally just watching a show where these children are, like are assisted in their escape, and that's the show." Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, at least in one way, it feels earned, but a little unrealistic, as opposed to, like, okay, I guess this is more realistic that they can't accomplish these crazy things, but, like, it's not as satisfying because they're just being helped along the way.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I, I mean, also, I think it's possible, Mr. Minerva backstabbing them just because the other demons are like hot on their tail, and didn't Ray like leave a clue for them on accident? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, if there were to be a trap laid out for them, there might be, a Mexican standoff between the children, Minerva, and the demons, and that is more plausible for them to escape just because it would definitely complicate things for all parties involved.
I did really like the fact that that Ray was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna leave a clue," but then it actually didn't even end up being relevant. Like, I actually like the fact that, like, he left a clue and it like, he was thinking ahead, but, like, it actually ended up fucking them over, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was, like, good. I was like, "Oh, they're gonna, like, read the thing," like, but it actually ended up being a clue for the enemies to figure them out. So I liked that. I thought that was a little unexpected little twist, I guess.
Yeah, that was one of the better choices in the show for sure. Let's see. Um, got kids coming. How have no kids died? Question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's died, yeah.
A
I
lot of
mean,
armor.
I feel like there's
Yeah.
just so many little kids.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's so many of them, and they're like little. I don't know.
And
Showing kids dying is not popular.
I know,
That's true.
but if you're gonna make a show about kids being eaten and you're afraid to show a child dying, I think you made the wrong show.
Has the kid died since episode? Or I guess Norm died, but they didn't really show
No,
that.
I mean, I think that Norm is probably alive, but
Yeah, there's no
I
way Norm's
also think
dead.
that because they didn't show him dying, and like they was like, go in this room, and I'm like, okay, well, can I see
yeah,
Norm die, or are you gonna make me think Norm was alive?
Norm
So
is William
they didn't
Minerva.
show him dying, so I think Norm was alive.
Dude, when are we gonna get evil Norm?
God, that would
But
be horrible. Oh my God, don't even say that. Don't say that.
Be kind of cool. Like imagine how pissed Ray would be. Ray would be frustrated for
Ray
sure.
would
That'd be
be very upset if Norm was like hanging with demons.
yes.
and there's not even
Ray,
any injuries yet either, which is also mind-boggling.
uh,
yeah, like no one even twisted an ankle when they were
Emma
escaping.
fainted.
I know.
Emma did. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just so bizarre to me. You're gonna make like a survival show and like they're only surviving. That's it. There's been no halts in their survival, really, and it's just kind of bizarre. Nobody's broken a leg or I don't know. Kind of
7
weird.
more episodes in the season, so
That's true.
I'm hoping that this is just like setting it up, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
feel like the demon to child ratio is definitely in the demon's favor. And they're pretty bad
Well, I mean, they are
demons.
in the world of demons, like the side of
Yeah.
the world that
I mean,
has
I'm talking
demons.
about like encounters. Like they've encountered those like the main dude and then like three demon dogs and then those two. So it's like five, six demons. So I don't know. And then also the big one. So technically seven. That was a demon. Or did they? Was that a demon? Or was that a monster?
What, at the
Uh,
very end?
The
the big
CGI.
the CGI
I
red.
think it was just a monster, like whatever monsters are in there.
Hmm. Bro. He didn't seem like he wanted to communicate, so I believe that.
Yeah, yeah. Even the dogs were talking.
Yeah, that was weird, but I guess I'm down
That
for
was
it.
kind of cool. Yeah, I'm down for it.
I think more scenes with demons would be cool for sure for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm
Because what we've
interested in
gotten, I'm
demons.
intrigued.
All right. I guess. Do you guys think like it's pretty early on, but what is an ending for this show that you could be satisfied with? I know it's pretty early on, but if you
I
had
mean,
to
Dude,
take a
I don't
guess.
know. I was kind of talking to Will about this, and like I don't really like.
so
Well, I mean,
hard.
I was talking to him with about this from the perspective of having only seen season one, and I guess now there's like a little bit more, um, like understanding of like the scope of the world. Like it's pretty clear that they're going to go to the human world, and they're going to try to free the other people from the farms on the way, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they even
Um,
say in the newest episode like we have to make a plan to get these people
yeah.
out.
So I think that's the end game but like the how many farms are there? You know, there's got to be a lot of them because they feed
Oh,
all of the demons. So there's no way that they can free everyone from every single farm. Like they're gonna have to like
I
I
think
don't
they
know. They're gonna have
could.
to.
They could. It would just take a really long time.
Well,
That'd
I
be a
mean,
lot of
I'm pretty
setup.
sure the manga is over. Like there's only like 100 something chapters or something.
Oh, okay. Well,
Or,
I
or,
don't
or,
know.
or not, I don't know about 100 something, but you know, it's over and it's not that long. Like I think the manga only went on for like I don't know, like 4 or 5 years or something. So
I would say an ending, a rough ending that would satisfy me is they go around. Sure, they liberate some people, whatever, but they make it to the wall or the separation, the divide between the demon world and the human world, and they're like, okay, let us in, and they're like, no, go fuck yourself, and then they basically cause like a second war between the demons and the humans, either maybe they go back into the demon side and then like liberate a bunch of people, and then the demons are like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, who's liberating all these people?" And then they bitch to the other humans, and then basically their freedom cost them like the entire world's safety, I guess, or unity. And
Think
then I don't know how it would end from there. It get a lot more complicated, but something like that, I think I could be okay with. But
the best way
Yeah,
to end it would be them going around liberating everybody, and they've got a nice giant group, and they all walk to the designated area to get to the human world, and they get to the middle of the DMZ, and they all just get shot, and everything ends. It'd be
okay.
extremely dark.
I don't think that the manga is going to end in such a dark place. I honestly kind of even think that Griffin's ending is too dark. Like,
Wait,
I don't
Griffin's
know
ending
that.
was like the most ideal one, wasn't it?
Well, no, I
Like
mean, like,
they
if
free
it if it
everyone and
ends in
eventually get them
war
all.
between humans and the demons, like, that's like
Well, I mean, we'll see how far along. It would either end, I think. I mean, given what you've said about how long the show is or the manga is, and it's done, I guess yeah, it would have to end with the start of a war because I don't think that they could finish up that entire thought process
I
into
don't
a
know. There
hundred
could be like
episodes.
another like moment where we realize like, oh, our entire understanding of everything is wrong, and like there's a solution that there's no way that anyone could have predicted. I don't know. Like I could definitely see like just some bullshit happening. I don't know. Like I don't want that to happen, but I could just see it happening. Um, I mean, yeah,
What
I
kind of
guess
bullshit though?
the ending that I want is just them like ending the practice of farming humans. But it's like it doesn't seem like the demons are into that. Like they would not be down for that. So there's going to have to be maybe they're going to negotiate with the demons and like find some alternative food source or something for the demons. I don't know.
Soy human.
Because I don't think they're gonna. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, soy. Yeah, just do soy. They they will make they will make soy boys, and then they will feed them to the demons.
Uh,
That's the perfect ending.
Kyle, you were just saying real quick that you think that they could throw in some bullshit in there. Like, how could they ruin the show?
What do you mean? How could they ruin it? Oh,
I
I
I
mean,
I mentioned it earlier when I was talking with Kyle, but like like a Walking Dead thing where it's like every season they get to a new place. Sorry, can't trust these guys. Everything turns out to be not so great. Then they have a big battle, and then they have to move on to the next place. Next season, new place. Everything looks good. Oh, something's not right here. Untrustworthy. Big battle. On to the next place. Like that would suck so fucking much.
Oh, like if the shelter like actually becomes a place they live in.
Like so for instance, like this season they get to the shelter, something's weird, or like they find Minerva, something's weird. Minerva's actually a demon that wants to kill them all, and he just wants them for himself or something like that. Okay, they have a battle with Minerva. Next season they get to a new place with somebody else that seems trustworthy.
Oh, so they
Not
just
not
like
just like
okay,
something repetitive and like doesn't really accomplish anything type of.
I
That would
feel you.
suck
yeah,
so fucking
that would be
much.
bad. I mean, also, I just think that like the biggest thing would be just like if the answer to the mysteries that are currently outstanding are boring. Like, I could that would just be I mean, like, that's, like, a pretty very real possibility, and I honestly think that's what's going to happen. Like, I think that the answers will not be as interesting or as satisfying as, like, what we're theorizing, um, but like, I think that's the most likely outcome. I think that, like, it could be fucked up worse than that, like, that's not the worst timeline, but that's, like, the most likely one. I think that, like, they could the worst timeline would be I don't even know what the worst timeline would be, like,
I'm sure you can make up some crazy ass timeline.
like,
Everyone's replaced
if it
with
was just
CGI.
like, "Oh, and then, like, aliens came and killed all the demons, and now the plot's about something else," like, I don't know, like, that, I don't know. It could always be really bad, but I think the most likely bad outcome is that the answers just aren't satisfying.
That's fair. And that's pretty likely. I don't know. I feel like the writing in season one was like kind of solid. Like there was some good decisions made. There was some intricacy with like Ray and like his knowledge, and then like kind of the way he like slowly leaked it out to the other people, and then they kind of all started working together at the end when they were all kind of had their own angle for survival. I don't know. I thought that there was some decent writing there, so I don't think that'll happen. But I don't know. People get lazy when the show gets
It was like a
popular.
pretty standard like Prison Break or like heist type of situation where it's like
Hmm.
very intricate planned and they're executing the plan. I do think it had some twists and turns that I liked a lot. Like no, when I was watching the first season, I did not see Ray being uh the mom's actual son and like him working for her the entire time, but then also not really working for her.
Yeah.
I do think there were some twists and turns that I liked, but uh, it wasn't like anything crazy with different from like a standard Prison Break movie like The Great Escape or something like that.
Yeah, it was still really entertaining though. Like I
Yeah,
agree with
I
like
agree.
the moment to moment, the twists and turns are like fun to like follow and stuff. And like to answer like what Griffin was saying about like how it seemed like better than it is now. I think that this is just a general trend in like so many series where like authors just tend to like front load their good ideas because they have their good ideas and they're like, oh, like I wanted to make a really cool story about like orphans escaping from an orphanage once they found out that it's actually like a farm for like demons and stuff. And like that's the original idea for the story, and they have that idea fleshed out. And they're
Yeah,
like, oh, and then I'll like the later parts, like I'll get to it when I get to it. And then like they just, because their first idea was the one that was good enough to make it do an entire story. The beginning is just the better part, and then like after that, it's just like okay, like I kind of have to like just follow it and kind of like clean up the loose ends and stuff, and it's not as interesting as like whatever was the original idea. I just feel like in general this is pretty like it's not uncommon for like stories to start out really good and then just get watered down over time because all of their ideas were at the beginning because they wanted to make sure that that's what they caught people's attention with was their good ideas.
That's fair. No, it's a big problem in anime. Yes,
Yeah.
gotta
big
stop
problem.
it.
Big problem in TV show and movies in general.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Snowpiercer, big problem with that one.
it's
Actually, I don't even know if it's a cool concept with that movie, but
It's a cool concept.
it's a
Bro,
concept.
it's a train. It's a train. Trains are cool.
Trains in the future, everyone's dead except people on this train, and then stuff happens. I don't know.
Wait, did that Rick and Morty episode make fun of Snowpiercer?
What Rick and
It
Morty
wasn't
episode?
really I mean, it
Okay,
wasn't really about that. I mean,
I think
it was
Snowpiercer
on a
makes
train.
fun of itself enough. We don't need anything else.
I didn't see
That
Snowpiercer. Wait,
Don't
we'll talk about it
don't.
later.
that doesn't mean
Um,
we're doing an episode on Snowpiercer though.
unless they make an anime of Snowpiercer,
You're
That
down.
could be cool.
I feel like it'd be so similar to this because it's also a Prison Break type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically Snowpiercer except stationary.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the first arc was. And then not really about class struggles. So it's not really the same thing at all, but it's kind of the same.
Anyway, I feel like that's about a big 30 on that one.
Yeah.
Overall, I am hesitant to, learn more about this show, but it hasn't been awful the first 4 episodes, but I feel like it's a little lazy, a little convenient. I've seen some of this stuff before, but done better. But, there's still a promised Neverland. Maybe? Who knows? Sorry, it was kind of like a bad pun.
It was kind of like a bad pun.
It was a bad pun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, yeah, there's definitely some plot conveniences, uh, throughout these episodes, but I'd say overall they're pretty fun. But yeah, I agree that, like, I'm not feeling great about the future, but we'll see. I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe this, like, hopefully this season is at least good. I don't I feel like long term is where we're gonna get the bad, but I don't know. We'll see. So far,
I'm
it hasn't
not.
been
I don't think
horrible.
I'm as down on it as you guys are. I think it was pretty. The first 4 episodes are pretty enjoyable. I agree the CGI is pretty bad, but
Have you
I don't know.
seen Made in Abyss, Will?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
we
a
did an episode on it.
we did an episode on the movie.
Never mind.
Yeah, I agree. Made in
No,
Abyss is much better, but like I don't know. I think I'm relatively okay with it how it is right now, and
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm as
I'm kinda
down on it
chalking it up
as
to be, like,
Griffin
early
is.
season as opposed to problems that I'm gonna see throughout the season, and I could be proven wrong, and I will fully admit to being proven wrong, but I think it's just early season and we'll set up, and unless they have, like, some greater plot, then I will probably be disappointed, but as of right
Yeah.
now, first 4 episodes, pretty good, pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm as down on it as Griffin. Like, I'm still enjoying, like, the actual episodes, but it's just, like, when I think about the future is when I get nervous.
Um, yeah, I think you guys are right. I think that the actual episodes have enjoyable elements, but I don't know. I don't think the cast is really thinking too hard when with the writing of the show, and that is something that bugs me. You know, just the easy solutions actually actively bugs me a lot in a show because like what you're not even trying. You're just getting progression by existing and people doing things for you and things being in places that are easy for you to obtain them.
Yeah, I
So
agree. That's one of my pet peeves as well.
that bugs me a lot. That's like something I'm like a stickler for in like a show or a movie is somebody actually trying to do something. Yes. And not to say that they're not trying, because there is moments where they do, you know, go out of their way to make an effort, but there's also a lot of moments where that's not the case. Anyway. Anything else?
Nope. Oh,
No, I think
I like the music in the first season. I haven't really noticed much with music in this season, so
Oh yeah, the intro for this season, it's okay. Song was kind of
I
generic.
think the intro for the
the
first season was just okay as well. I didn't really
I mean, the visuals are pretty good for the intro for this one. I like, the fucking like, all of the rabbits and the kids on plates. That was kinda a little scary, a little spooky scary. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I had to say on that.
Fair enough. All right, that's it for this episode. So until next time,
next week we're doing Beastars?
I think we're back on Attack on Titan, and then it's B Stars.
Okay.
2021 back on crack.
Back on crack.
All right, peace out.
See
Peace.
ya.